Hey, happy Friday, everyone. I cannot believe it is the end of the week already, and I'm excited to spend some time with you today. So if you are popping in, let me know where you're coming in from. I am drinking, so I'm speaking tomorrow on a panel. If you're in New Jersey, I think the tickets are sold out. It's with the Moms of Business, and it's a whole thing on self-care. It's a self-care day. There's gonna be like all these self-care activities. They have a keynote speaker, so I'm speaking on the panel. But I woke up this morning and my throat is a little like, so I am drinking elderberry tea with a lot of crushed garlic in it. I feel like everybody has the flu. I have avoided it, knock on wood, or whatever you need to knock on. Our whole family here had the flu, and now my brother's whole family has the flu. So it has been super, super wild. So, and a bunch of women that I work with, either their family has the flu or they have the flu, or it's been a little bit wild. So I hope you guys are all healthy. Okay. So what I want to talk about today is competition, this concept of competition, because I don't think that, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm always the first to say maybe I'm wrong, but I think that I have not found that you reach a level in your life or in your business where you are completely protected from competition, from that voice in your brain that gets into your head and is like, you can't do this. Look what everybody else is doing. They're so much better than you. You suck. Like, right? There's that voice that gets into our head. And I'll tell you, I personally was kind of dealing with this week. And interestingly enough, I'm speaking next week at the Females on Fire Summit. And my topic, my actual session is how to competition proof your business. I will drop, here, let me actually give you guys, if you want a free ticket, you can grab a free ticket here. It's the first one on the link. This will take you to all of my resources and links. It's the very first one there. And you can grab yourself a free ticket. And what I will do is I'll actually stick it up over here. So if you want, you can grab it at any time today. Okay, if you're catching the replay, I'd love to know where you're coming in from. So please comment. I do go back and read all of the comments. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start with pulling up the Into Mind dictionary. This is like my favorite. I'm sure I'm not saying it right. Competition, because it really goes into, it's kind of like a dictionary, but for the root words. So if you hang out with me at all, if you're here in our Hey Girl You Can community, or you've taken any of my classes, you know that I'm very, very big on the energy of words, that words have power. And, I was just reading this thing about how, something about how words didn't have power. And I thought, well, that's a really dumb comment, because if anybody's ever been hurt by somebody's words, by what somebody said to you, you know that words can be really powerful. And even with an abuse, often people will say physical abuse, it's different than mental abuse, because physical abuse, there's these outward signs, right? And so it's easy to prove what's going on. And those outward signs heal. But the mental or psychological abuse, you can't prove, right? There's no outward sign to say, like, this is what's happening. And it's so much longer to heal that kind of abuse. And so whether that's you were raised in a family where you had that, or whether you went to school and there were kids who were mean to you. I mean, I work with literally thousands of women. And let me tell you, there are women who are years later, successful, great moms, running great businesses, and they're still struggling with things that were said to them by when they worked, by other kids at school, or by an ex, or whoever, right? An old boss. Like, it's wild how that stuff can stay with us. So I don't believe that words are powerless. I think that they're extremely powerful. But words also have an energy. There's an intent behind them. And often the original intent, what was actually initially meant by a word, gets lost, or gets kind of lost in translation, or it develops over time. And so we may not even know what that word means. So some of your favorite words you should go look up. You might be really surprised. There's a lot that I have taken out of my vocabulary, including words like passion. You will not hear me say that. Words like self-discipline. You will not hear me say that. And it's because I started to understand what these words actually meant. So we're going to look up the word competition. What is a competition? And so first, we're going to look up what's the noun. What does it mean? And it's an action of seeking or endeavoring to gain what another is endeavoring to gain at the same time. So it's basically you're trying to get the same thing somebody else is trying to get at the exact same time. That's the competition. And And so that's very interesting, right? So let's kind of go this. So it initially came from, if you go really back down to like this, that was from the 1600s. If you really go back down more into like the Latin word and what it went from in the original Latin, it meant a contest of something, a trial or skill of superiority or fitness. So it really is, if you think of sports, that's really where competition kind of first came from, that idea. But what I find interesting about this is that when you think of competition and you think of, oh, I have competition, it's this idea that we're both going for the same thing. And really what that comes from, if you're not playing a sport, okay, now in a sport, yes, there's a competition, there's one gold medal, there's one winner. But in all other aspects of life, there's usually not one. And so where do I see competition fall a lot? So I see it in two places for women, personally and professionally. So what do I mean by that? So I think in business, it's probably the easiest way to describe this. So if you have a business, or you're wanting to start a business, or you're wanting to scale a business, we can have this sense that there's competition out there, that, oh my gosh, there's other competition. How am I going to find my way? How am I going to win? Right? Because competition involves winning. Now, I'm going to deep dive into this at the Female in Fire Summit because it's specifically for entrepreneurs. I actually have a whole slideshow, which was like super stressful because I normally just kind of speak from my heart. I don't really use a slide presentation. So this one, they required a slide presentation. It was totally stressing me out. But if you want to, grab your free ticket because my class is on Monday. And you also get some extra goodies and stuff like that. And there's going to be a networking event and dance party. It's going to be a really phenomenal summit. I'm very excited. I'm speaking on one of the panels. So there's like all week long, there's stuff for you to get and take advantage of. So anyway, in business, often when we're looking at competition, and this is what I have found, is that we are comparing our day one with somebody's day 10. Now, in my direct sales business, when I work with women and they are starting a business, and I used to feel this way. So I would go to, when I was starting out my business, I would go to networking events. And I remember this is what really shifted it for me. So this is years ago. This is probably, oh my gosh, almost 20, 25, 20, 23 years ago. I was at a networking event and there were 3 of us from the same industry, like they're literally the exact same company. However, there really wasn't, what I noticed is there really wasn't competition because, well, at that time, first of all, I was 20 some odd years younger, right? So I was in my 20s. One of the women there was in her 40s. She was really old. She was like my age now, right? She was really old. And then there was another woman there, and I don't remember what the deal was with her, but I just remember this one particular because she was pretty successful too. And we had similar positions, but we attracted completely different people. One was just age. We attracted different people because we were different ages. The other is personality. We have completely different personalities. And the other was a little bit of a cultural thing. I was living in Colorado. I was from New Jersey. I was fast talking. I'm more of a, East Coast girl. She was from the Midwest. She was a little bit slower. She was a little bit more casual, relaxed. Like we had totally different vibes. And your vibe attracts your tribe. People are naturally drawn to people who are like them. It is very much that concept of like attracts like. If you use homeopathy, this is the whole basis of it. Like attracts like. And so our energy attracts similar energy level. And I noticed that day that, first of all, there were plenty of people that I connected with. But even though there were 2 or 3 of us in the exact same companies, we didn't have competition because it wasn't the product that people buy. It was the person. And I think this is true in every industry. People buy the person. They buy the story. This is why companies like Nike and Google and Amazon and what they spend tons of money in developing a story around their business, a brand around their business, because people buy that. They buy the story. We see this a lot with I'll use Dove. They have a lot of campaigns about empowering women, right? There's a big story around that. And so you buy the brand, you love the story, so you buy the product. Okay. Nike built an entire brand on this, just do it, with this idea of like empowerment, just do it, just go for it. They built this whole brand around that we love the story. And so when it comes to business, you don't have competition because nobody else has your story. Right. And so I think really owning the fact that people buy us first when it comes to business allows us to stop looking, and that we're usually looking at our starting part and their last point. And I was just put to the test this week. Now, I know this concept. I'm teaching this concept at the summit. I've coached thousands of women in this concept. Well, um, in building the Hey Girl You Can community, this is a whole new thing. We've had our community for a couple of years, but we've never had a formal membership, right? And so building out this membership and trying to figure out what is the best way to do that. What is the best way to find the ideal woman who wants to grow herself, grow her business, step into her power, reclaim her life, reframe her circumstances. Like, who is that woman? Where do I find her? But there's also this technology piece, right? So I use Simple Business Suite. If any of you guys are interested, let me tell you, I wish I had this 4 years ago. It would have changed my life. Because I was kind of all over the place. I had classes on Teachable, on Shopify, I had a website. I was selling dropship products on Shopify. I had a WordPress site for the blog. I mean, it was a mess. And then I had like 3 different email systems, and nothing was clicking. And it's one of the reasons why we never launched the membership. There was just too much chaos. Well, over the summer, Stephanie Blake, who's a friend of mine, she's been on the Tara's Voice podcast. She has what's called Simple Business Suite. This is a totally tangent, but Simple Business Suite basically allowed me to take all of those disconnected things and put them in one place where I can run all of my websites, all of my courses, all of my digital products, all of my email marketing, all of my promo events, my calendar, like everything goes under that. She does a live free demo. So if anybody is like me, where you had like a tech headache and you were like, oh my gosh, I want to start an online business, I don't even know where to start, everything seems so expensive. The same link, if you scroll down, it does somewhere on there. It says Simple Business Suite. It says like the one tool I use to run my business. You can use that and actually sign up for a free demo and check it out. I know I have a coupon code. If you want it, let me know. What is the coupon code? I think it's Spirit, but I'm not 100%. I actually put it in my email. If you get my emails, it went out of my email today. There is a coupon code for 15% off for the year. If you're not on my emails, go get on my emails, because that's how you get stuff like that. Okay. But if you put it in the comments, I will get it for you. I will get you the coupon code and you can get the free demo. But anyway, so part of that is I am learning how to do these things, and many of you will laugh, but words like funnels and automations and workflows and triggers literally trigger me. Like, I get overwhelmed with all of this. Now, I have a phenomenal VA. He is amazing. He's very helpful. But I was under the gun. I had to get stuff done. I couldn't wait for him to get the answer. I had to get the answer myself. I was on till like 1 a.m. with tech support, trying to figure out how to do all of this stuff, because I don't know how to do all of this stuff. And there was literally a battle in my brain going, Tara, what do you think you're doing? Look at all of these other people who are so successful. You hear those names, right? Like, you hear the Marie Forleo and the Mel Robbins and the, Jenna Kushner and Amy Porterhouse, and like all these people who have built these huge businesses, right? They're so successful. What makes you think you can do this? And then there's this other little part of my brain going, Tara, everybody starts somewhere. If somebody started the direct sales business that you're built now, they went building that for 27 years. Like, you didn't have success overnight, but you're smart. You can figure this out. You can learn how to do this. Like, it'll take time. Nobody's overnight. You're comparing their step 10 to your step 1. And it's like this devil angel, right? That fight for place in your brain. They're fighting for space in your brain. And so that's what I was dealing with the other night. And so again, this competition stuff, I'm saying to myself, Tara, don't do it. You're not competing with anybody. Because people are going to either be attracted to your vibe or they're not. And so when it comes to business, if you own a business and you're worried about competition, or you're worried that the market is saturated, or you're worried that, somebody is 4 steps ahead of you, number one, stop looking at that. There's an unfollow button. It's great. Just don't follow those people who are going to trigger your self-doubt. Okay. Number 2, God created you to do what you know in your heart you are here for, the message that you are meant to send the world, the impact that you are meant to have, then it's all going to work out. And, at our networking event on Tuesday, it kind of turned into a little mini mastermind. I had these 2 wonderful women. It was a small event. And so we just ended up kind of masterminding, brainstorming ways to build our business and stuff. And the feedback that I got from them, because again, I've been in business 27 years. They were like, this is so good. And so it was, for me, it was like a little God wink of going, this is what you're good at, Tara. Like, you're good at this. Continue to do this. Don't let the tech stuff support you. Don't get in your brain and think about all the reasons why you can't, right? This is what we talk about in Hey Girl You Can. I just want to see, I want to make sure that I'm not missing your comments on here. Okay, yeah, I see you guys. Hey, I see you. So you actually can. And this is like this, hey girl, you can, is all based on that, is that you really can. But we think of all the reasons why we can't instead of all the reasons why we can. Okay. So when it comes to business, there's no competition. Stop looking at people who are forward than you. You did not see them on day one. You did not see them on day two. You probably didn't even see them on year one. You're only seeing them now because of how far they've come, and you will get there too. You will get there too. The second place I see women in competition is personally. And let me tell you, I think social media is the mecca for this. We see everybody else's clean, beautiful house. We see everybody else's kid who's getting a scholarship, an award, the honors student, something, right? I'll tell you, all of you guys cook dinner all the time, and like it looks like it came on Pinterest. Y'all look great all the time. You're all dressed lovely, right? You're all on vacation all of the time. I mean, do any of you have jobs? All I see on my social media is you're all on vacation 100% of the time. And we know this in our head. We know you see somebody else's highlight reel. How many of us have heard that? If you heard that, you see somebody else's highlight reel, but it doesn't change the fact that we still let it get into our heads. Everybody else is prettier, thinner, more organized, more put together. They're better moms, better spouses. Their spouses love them more, like all of the things. And so we have to be so careful to guard our mind from that. I recently posted on my personal Facebook profile a picture, and I had a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, your pictures look so pretty," which was lovely. Thank you for those compliments. But I had to put a disclaimer on there. I said, "Yeah, it's AI. In AI, I don't have any forehead wrinkles. It's fantastic. My forehead is like this. AI makes my forehead like this." Now I know Botox would probably do that too, but I'm scared to do that. I'm not saying I never will. Maybe at one point they'll bother me so much. But AI looks great. AI will make you get bangs. Maybe, AI makes everybody look great. Nobody posts when they're in the fire. They post when they're out of the fire, right? Nobody's posting, "Hey, I'm up at 1 a.m. almost in tears because I cannot figure out how to do the stupid automation workflow thing that I'm supposed to be able to do." But you're going to see in it next week, "Oh my gosh, she's speaking at this summit. Oh my gosh, she's, just was at the panel for the self-care workshop. Oh my gosh, she's, I'm doing an event with Trinity Wellness Emporium in Monmouth County, if you're interested. I'm doing a one-day retreat there. Oh my gosh." And you might think, "Oh gosh, look at all the stuff that she's doing," because you're not seeing the 1 o'clock tears. You're not seeing the 1 o'clock, like, "Oh my gosh." You're not seeing the get up in the morning and being like, you have to fight the self-talk that tells you you're not good enough, good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, all of those things. Now, if you have totally arrived and you never have that game of comparison, congratulations. That would make me worried. And I will tell you why, because that means that you're not stretching and growing. And I say this very lovingly. I think there's a point where all of us can get to, because I've been in this point and I've been out of this point, where we're so grounded in truth, where we're so grounded and connected to the spirit and to who God made us to be. And we're so connected into, we're doing our gratitude journal, we're doing our meditation, that we're not looking left and we're not looking right, and we're really in a great flow. That is the goal for all of us. That is the goal for all of us, where we no longer look that way. The reality is, and if you're on social media or you're living in the world, you'll be standing online at the checkout, right? The world, Satan is vying for your attention to tell you that you're not good enough. Because when you feel that way, you will shrink from the gifts, the impact, and the power that you are meant to make in the world. When you feel like you can't, when you feel like you're not good enough, when you feel like everybody else is better, you will shrink away from your gifts, your strengths, your talents, the things that you were given so that you could make an impact in this world. You've heard me say that if you don't pursue your dreams will die with you. But your dreams are the gift for all of us. Your dreams, your goals, the big things that keep you up at night, That is the impact that you are meant to make into the world. So how does Satan go after you to get you to not do that? Make you think you can't. They have you compare yourself to everybody else, figure out why they're so much better than you are. And it's a lie. It is a total lie. I have to tell you, again, I've coached thousands of women. Sometimes the women who I think, wow, she is so put together. Her house is so beautiful. Her family is so beautiful. She is so beautiful. They just look like they are so put together. I will sit down and one-on-one, and you realize that everyone struggles with moments of self-doubt. Everyone struggles with, am I good enough? Everyone struggles with, can I do this? It is shocking. It is shocking. And I think if we're not saying, can I do this? It's because we're not stepping out of our comfort zone. And that's where I say it's a very fine line. Because if there's no sense of, can I do this? Am I good enough? You're probably playing small. You're probably saying safe. You're probably not stepping into your greatness. Because when you step out of your comfort zone, when you step into your greatness, when you step into your calling, when you step into your gift, there's going to be an element of fear. Because you're no longer in the comfort zone. You're no longer in the safety zone. You're in the God zone. You're in the miracle zone. You're in the unknown zone, which is scary for us. We don't like that as humans, right? We like what's safe. So, number one, as you go into this weekend, I want to challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. I want to challenge you to do something that scares you a little bit, that steps you onto the path to your greatness, that steps you onto the path of where you're supposed to be. Okay. If you have a business and you want to set yourself up so that you have no competition, that you are so clear, so grounded, such in a great place that you don't ever need to worry about competition, that's what I'm going to be teaching you Monday at the Females on Fire event. Okay, now there's a free ticket. There is an upgraded ticket that gives you extra perks, but you can grab a free ticket and you'll have access to my classes at, I think it's 4:20 p.m. Eastern time. 4:20 p.m. Eastern time, I think, is when my class is. I will be on there on the chat live, answering questions, engaging with you guys. So I hope you come, check it out, grab your ticket. Also in there, you'll see there's a couple of other things that I have coming up. I will be speaking at the Rule Breaker Summit. I'm going to be teaching you how to forget the rules to follow the fun, to make your business fun. That is also for entrepreneurs. That's going to be at the end of next week. So both of those are listed there. And then also Amy Walker was on the podcast this week. She is so fun. She's a friend of mine. She's British, but she lived here in America. And she's just funny because she tells a story about her dad that is wild. But it's always interesting to get a take of people who just, I've never lived in a different culture, right? I've never lived in a different country. And so she was really, really fun to talk to. And there's some other resources and stuff in there. But what I would love to know is, number one, do you struggle with competition? Is this something that I'm the only one who struggles with, or do you ever struggle with that? And if you do, what do you do about that? I'd also love to know, what is outside of your comfort zone? What is your big dream, your big goal, the thing that you want to go for, and that is slightly outside your comfort zone? Let me know if you're going to be joining me at the Females on Fire Summit. And then if you're like, I need a community, I need to be in a place where I'm surrounded by women who are believing that I can, encouraging me that I can, helping me level up so I can live my best life, where I can grow into the best version of myself, so that I can chase those goals and those dreams. And that's what our Hey Girl You Can community is about. That is exactly what we do. You get 4 events a month with me. You get a Q&A session where we kind of get a little bit of that one-on-one mentorship. You get your private community. You get all the resources. Like, this is what you're going to get with our Hey Girl You Can. And so I really encourage you to check that out, because it's so important who you surround yourself with. It's so important who's in your head every day, the types of women that you're hanging out with. Are they believing in you, encouraging you? What are you doing every day and every week to grow into the best version of yourself? Because we don't get a do-over. I wish we did, but we don't get a do-over. This is it. This is the only life that we get. And so it is really up to us. What are we going to do? Who are we going to be with? Who are we going to be hanging out with? And who are we going to become because of the people that we're hanging out with? So I hope you guys have a fabulous Friday. I'm excited. If you're coming to the Self-Care Social tomorrow, comment, because I want to see you. I'm really excited. So that's going to be fantastic. A lot of the women I know from the Moms of Business are going to be there. And then I'll see you on Monday, the Females on Fire. Here, I'll put the code here. If for some reason you don't see it, or you can't, how come that's not showing? hold on, let's take this one off. Oh, see, look, how fancy. And if the link is just taragonline.com/links. So if you can't scan it and you want the link, it's taragonline.com/links. And the very first link up there is going to be your free ticket. So I hope to see you guys on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend.